Buckle up, because this might be the most thrilling car mystery you've ever heard. When FBI agents stormed Richard Rawlings' Gas Monkey garage in Dallas, the automotive world was rocked. The official story? Just a routine inspection. But something's off. Rumors swirl about a cryptic clue, a chilling discovery, and a secret buried deep beneath the concrete floor. What did the FBI really find beneath the old Gas Monkey garage? A hidden room, chilling conspiracies, and a truth that could upend the entire automotive world. Join us as we uncover the spine-chilling details, unravel shocking clues, and reveal a scandal that might be the biggest bombshell in car history. Don't forget to leave a comment with the number 1 if you sympathize with Richard Rawlings, or 0 if you feel differently. Hit like and subscribe now to stay tuned for the jaw-dropping revelations in today's story. At exactly 9:13 a.m. on March 14, 2025, the automotive world fell silent as bizarre new details emerged surrounding the mysterious FBI raid on Gas Monkey Garage, just when the case seemed unable to take a darker turn. Authorities uncovered a chilling secret that shattered any notion of a simple explanation, according to the latest reports from the Dallas Morning News. Investigators had secured a search warrant for Rawlings' assets, valued at $4 trillion. The $2 million garage complex in Dallas, Texas, a legendary site where the Fast and Loud crew filmed countless builds over the years, revealed findings that were not only unusual, but deeply disturbing. Rumors began spreading almost immediately as some sources claimed the FBI wasn't there for a standard search, but was following a lead about something far more troubling hidden beneath the shop's floor. Whispers of a sealed room, shattered concrete, and mysterious objects hastily removed sent the internet into a frenzy. While authorities remained tight-lipped, speculation was running rampant. From the moment FBI agents broke through the towering garage doors and stepped inside the facility, an eerie silence enveloped them. The air was heavy, thick with an inexplicable tension. The garage itself felt off, like a place suspended in time. Details didn't add up. Overturned lockers, faint scratches on the concrete floor, and missing personal belongings hinted at something no one was reporting. Then came the first bombshell: a hidden area. Cleverly concealed beneath a section of the shop floor that didn't match the rest, the workshop's blueprints recorded nothing about it. The concrete had been poured differently, creating a nearly invisible seam around a 15-20 FT area. When the agents broke through the concrete surface, it gave way to reveal a hollow space below. As the agents descended through the opening, their flashlights barely pierced the pitch-black darkness, illuminating only fragments of the strange underworld they were about to uncover. Below, they stumbled upon a vast room. An underground bunker lined with rows of metal crates, some corroded and broken open, stacked along the walls. Dusty relics spilled out, rusted mechanical parts, yellowed papers, and artifacts that appeared decades old. Among them were intricate car components of unknown origin, some resembling complex racing engines, others like prototype parts with inexplicable designs. One agent recalled cautiously opening a small locked box buried under a pile of oil-soaked rags. Inside, stacks of black and white photographs lay perfectly preserved. More disturbing, the shadowy figures in them gathered around partially dismantled cars, individuals in outdated clothing staring directly at the camera with unsettling intensity. Some photos depicted what appeared to be car auctions at undisclosed locations, while others captured what seemed like clandestine meetings among people whose faces were deliberately blurred or scratched out. None of the images appeared in any public records. Then came the discovery that left everyone stunned. Amid the rubble was a tattered leather-bound book, a ledger. Its pages, warped by time, were filled with frantic, scrawled handwriting, some entries smudged beyond recognition. But what they could decipher hinted at something incomprehensible. References to a car collection described only in fragmented details and mentions of the original. A name appeared repeatedly. The writer, whose identity remains unconfirmed, described unsettling scenarios, strange noises emanating from beneath the garage at night, and a growing fear of being watched. Another box revealed a pocket watch belonging to it. A cracked lens, its hands frozen at 2:38 a.m., sat beside a rusted metal key and a small bag containing strange car badges that matched no known manufacturer. There was also an intricate silver medallion, its surface tarnished. When the agents finally polished it, they found an engraving. Motorworks 1932, with a symbol resembling an eye inside a gear. Tension escalated as the agents discovered a metal hatch embedded in the concrete wall at the chamber's far end. It was corroded, sealed with a heavy industrial lock, no handle, and no obvious way to open it. The door appeared far older than the garage itself. As the agents attempted to breach it, the sound of metal striking metal echoed through the chamber like a hollow mechanical groan. The FBI has declined to comment on whether they found anything beyond that door. Speculation erupted online, with some believing this underground space connected to a complex network of tunnels from Dallas's Prohibition era, or perhaps something even more sinister. Others suspected the door concealed evidence of a cover-up so massive that its revelation could shake the automotive world to its core. Investigators pushed further, uncovering an adjacent passageway hidden behind a collapsed wall. Strange mechanical diagrams lined the interior, spirals, geometric patterns, and shapes resembling engine components that matched no known designs. The markings didn't correspond to any recognized manufacturer, yet they seemed deliberate, almost like a blueprint for something more unsettling. The passageway seemed to draw in faint, rhythmic drafts of air, carrying a smell one agent described as old engine oil, metal, and something else. Something felt wrong. Near the passageway's entrance, they found a collection of vintage car parts, each meticulously cataloged with an odd numbering system. Some still bore partial VIN plates, but the numbers matched no vehicle registration databases. One piece had a single message etched into its surface: "Not from this line." The deeper the investigators dug, the stranger it became. Buried beneath the rubble was a collection of glass jars filled with unidentified substances, some crystalline, others dark and viscous. Chemical analysis is still underway, but early speculation suggests these compounds might be experimental fuels or oils, defying conventional automotive science. Among the jars was a torn piece of paper, rolled up with shaky handwriting. 67 Shelby is not the original. Authorities have maintained a secretive stance, issuing vague, carefully worded statements that only fuel speculation that the garage remained sealed, unguarded day and night prior to this. Employees were reportedly instructed not to speak to the media, leaving no comments or traces of their knowledge. Neighbors now speak more freely, some recalling seeing unmarked trucks arriving at odd hours, slipping through the gates at night. Others swear they heard engine noises echoing from underground, like running motors and grinding metal, long after the shop had officially closed. The most chilling rumors come from former employees who claim they ventured near the sealed-off area, only to experience headaches, disorientation, memory gaps, and in some cases, vivid nightmares of cars that seem to operate on their own. The mystery surrounding Gas Monkey Garage is not only growing deeper but also far darker than anyone imagined. Each new revelation feels more like a warning than a breakthrough. One thing is clear. Whatever lies beneath that garage floor was never meant to see the light of day. And now it might. But why did authorities initially offer a different story from the original? If you missed earlier reports, here's what experts initially told us. They claimed that the garage of Fast and Loud star Richard Rawlings in Dallas was under investigation for alleged VIN forgery and possible import law violations. The raid was described as part of a multi-agency effort targeting counterfeit car parts across the Southwest. Rawlings was said to be cooperative, telling the media he had nothing to hide and that any irregularities might be clerical errors from his rapid acquisitions. Throughout the process, he maintained his innocence while granting full access to his records and inventory. Initially, authorities claimed it was a straightforward case, a major automotive business caught up in a broader investigation into black market parts. But as more details emerged, the story began to unravel. Police initially reported finding documents tied to some high-profile car builds, but the maintenance manager insisted those exact records were properly stored and regularly audited. The two accounts conflicted. Which account was true? The theory about counterfeit parts also fell apart. Tests showed all of Gas Monkey's parts were authentic, and strangely, 3 other shops investigated in the same operation were quickly cleared of wrongdoing. Then came one of the most troubling discoveries. Digital records revealed files had been systematically deleted from Gas Monkey's servers, but forensic analysis showed the deletions occurred when the building was already under FBI control. At that point, employees had been evacuated, and only federal agents had access to the system. A sealed garage with no unauthorized entry, federal agents in full control, yet someone deliberately erased records. The only people with both motive and opportunity were the investigators themselves. Even more perplexing, the concrete floor the agents jackhammered open was not part of the original search warrant. Something, or someone, had specifically directed them to that section of the floor, a detail absent from all official reports. Senior experts like Dr. Michael Brenner, forensic engineer Marcus, car authentication specialist Sutton, and former ATF investigator Paul Murray weighed in, and their theories painted a far more complex picture than the initial story suggested. Dr. Michael Brenner initially leaned toward a connection to organized crime, explaining that the pattern matched prior cases where legitimate businesses were used as fronts for money laundering. But when evidence showed no signs of organized crime involvement, he shifted to another theory. He pointed to the peculiar specific patterns and the possibility that the hidden area predated Rawlings' ownership of the building. We might be looking at something historical, sealed decades ago and forgotten, Brenner hypothesized. Marcus Sutton, one of the nation's top car authentication experts, raised questions about the ledger and photographs. The documentation style matched authentication practices from the 1960s and 1970s, he noted, suggesting it wasn't modern fraud but rather historical record-keeping for cars someone wanted to preserve. If you found this story surprising and intriguing, don't forget to like and share this video so your friends can explore it too. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts on this strange historical theory. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any shocking stories and exciting revelations coming up next. Sutton's book suggests the possibility that this space may have been used to document ghost cars, vehicles produced off the official assembly lines during Detroit's golden era. Paul Murray, who spent 25 years investigating automotive crimes for the ATF, emphasized the sophisticated nature of the hidden room. It wasn't built in a hurry, he observed, noting the concrete construction, ventilation system, and document preservation methods. This room was built by professionals with the intent to keep secrets indefinitely. Murray went further. If this isn't a modern criminal enterprise, what is it preserving, and why was it sealed so thoroughly? Murray posed the most unsettling question. Did Rawlings discover this space during renovations years ago? Did he deliberately seal it back up? And if so, why keep it a secret? So, what do we really believe when we get conflicting information from the authorities? The crazy thing is, if you dig deep enough, it gets even stranger because the timing of this discovery coincides with one of the most controversial auctions in automotive history. Could that be why they keep dodging answers? Could the Gas Monkey raid be a cover-up for something entirely different? The connection to Barrett-Jackson. Over the years, the high-end collector car market has been the epicenter of endless speculation. People believe some of the most valuable cars sold at prestigious auctions like Barrett-Jackson have dubious origins. Tales of numbers matching classic cars that don't actually match, celebrity-owned vehicles with fabricated histories, and cars with fictional racing pedigrees. But in 2024, before any major scandal could break, several top authentication experts retired, changed careers, or mysteriously withdrew from public life. Officially, these were personal decisions. Unofficially, many in the automotive industry don't buy it. Theories have exploded. Some believe powerful figures in the collector car world are still being protected. Others go further, claiming some authenticators weren't just withdrawing but were pressured to stay silent to prevent certain automotive legends from being exposed as frauds. There's no concrete evidence to prove these claims, but that hasn't stopped people from digging. Over the years, auction houses have released thousands of documents about their verification processes, but so-called clear proof has never surfaced. Some records have been sealed or heavily redacted, supposedly to protect consignor privacy, while others are merely technical evidence from past authentication disputes. A world-shaking revelation hasn't happened yet, but just days before a major Barrett, Jackson's auction features several million-dollar cars tied to racing legends of the 1960s. The FBI raided Gas Monkey Garage, and many believe Rawlings has grown weary of the secrets in the collectible car market and is building a case to expose cars with questionable histories. Rawlings or his team may have stumbled upon something that made Gas Monkey a target. If the raid is somehow linked to the upcoming auction, the implications are truly chilling. Rawlings is not just another TV car builder. He is an influential voice in an industry closely tied to wealthy collector circles. If he knows something, or even if he's connected to someone who triggered the raid, it may not be as straightforward as it seems. One of the greatest fears in the collectible car market is that exposing a history of fraud could collapse values overnight. If Rawlings has evidence that threatens eight-figure valuations, it could have provoked a defensive reaction from those with valuable collections feeling threatened. Let things play out by chance. Think about it. How often do we see sudden, unexplained federal actions coinciding with major market events? Businesses get raided, documents vanish, but the full truth always seems just out of reach. If the gas monkey raid isn't a random coincidence, it could be a warning to anyone else thinking of speaking out. Stay silent, or you'll be next. Of course, this could just be speculation. Maybe Rawlings doesn't know about auction fraud directly, but what if someone close to him does? If Rawlings ends up knowing too much by association, in that case, the raid might not be about stopping him, but about securing evidence before it can cause public financial damage in a much larger cover-up. One name popping up on collector car forums is Dennis Collins, Rawlings' close friend and fellow car collector. Collins and Rawlings aren't just colleagues. They're lifelong friends who started in the car world together, set cannonball run records together, and remain close even after fame. If Collins has insider knowledge about shady cars, what does that mean for Rawlings? Maybe Rawlings isn't involved at all, but what if he knows something about Collins? Friends talk, especially those who knew each other before fame, money, and the protective bubble of celebrity. If Rawlings learned something others want buried, the FBI's sudden raid just as some questionable cars are hitting the auction block feels a bit too convenient. The circumstances of the raid almost beg to be dismissed. Federal agencies investigate businesses all the time for regulatory violations. Just another quiet procedural matter in a world full of such issues. But when the timing aligns so perfectly, should we really be so quick to accept it? Hidden car secrets. Really, we should, because, let's be honest, mysterious discoveries are pretty common in the car world. The first name that comes to mind is Briggs Cunningham Corvettes, a notorious case that still sparks speculation today. The Corvettes from the 24 Hours of Le Mans race seemed to vanish after the event, becoming holy grails for Corvette collectors for decades. Enthusiasts searched for these historically significant cars. In 2012, one of them, car number 3, was discovered in a Florida warehouse. The car had been hidden under a tarp for years, its true identity unknown even to its owner. The find sent shockwaves through the collector community, and the car ultimately sold for millions of dollars. But the details never quite added up. How could such an important car remain hidden for so long? Why didn't previous owners investigate its history? Even stranger, conflicting claims about its authenticity surfaced soon after the discovery. Some experts questioned whether this was truly car number 3 or if parts had been swapped decades earlier. The VIN, racing modifications, and historical documentation all became subjects of heated debate. Despite these troubling details, the car's provenance was eventually confirmed, solidifying its place in automotive history. The mystery deepened as conspiracy theories suggested some collectors knew the car's location for years, but kept it secret until market conditions were favorable. Others believed powerful figures in the Corvette world suppressed information about all three cars to control their discovery and sale. Regardless of the truth, the Cunningham Corvette story proved how easily automotive history can be manipulated, and how valuable that manipulation can be when millions of dollars are at stake. I could go on, but we might just be seeing history repeat itself with Rawlings and Gas Monkey Garage. Authorities will dance around the details, issue a resolution to the case, report whatever closes the investigation, and shift public attention elsewhere. In the end, the concrete floor can't speak for itself. No theory we propose will change what was found. But what we can do is respect the transparency Rawlings has always championed on his show. He and his crew have been through more in a decade of television than most car builders could dream of. One might dream that he's a legend, a man who left his mark on car culture and beyond. So, before we let this fade into a neatly packaged story, let's take a moment to review his career. Rawlings' rise to fame. His early years were shaped by a passion for cars and an entrepreneurial drive, forging the bold, confident persona he became known for on television. Born in 1969 in Fort Worth, Texas, Rawlings' life revolved around cars from the start. By age 14, he bought his first car, a 1974 green Mercury Comet, with money saved from delivering newspapers. While most teens focused on school activities, Rawlings was buying, fixing, and selling cars for profit. Before graduating high school, he had flipped nearly 20 cars, showing an early knack for spotting value where others saw none. His path wasn't without peril. At 22, he survived a carjacking attempt that left him wounded by a gunshot to the shoulder. Rather than being deterred, the incident seemed to strengthen his resolve to succeed on his own terms. After a brief stint as a police officer, firefighter, and paramedic, Rawlings founded Lincoln Press, a printing and advertising company. The business thrived, ultimately providing him with the capital to pursue his true passion, cars. In 2002, he established Gas Monkey Garage. Though the early years were far from glamorous, the original shop lacked air conditioning and running water, Rawlings' vision was clear. He attended car shows and events nationwide, steadily building the Gas Monkey brand. His breakthrough came in 2007, when he and his friend Dennis Collins broke the Cannonball Run record, driving from New York to Los Angeles in 31 hours and 59 minutes. This feat drew media attention, including recognition from Jay Leno, a pivotal moment that elevated Rawlings' credibility in the automotive world. By 2012, his relentless push for a car restoration show paid off when Discovery Channel greenlit Fast and Loud. The show's unique formula, blending automotive expertise with entertainment value, resonated with audiences beyond traditional car enthusiasts. Fast and Loud wasn't just a hit. It became a global phenomenon, airing in over 200 countries. Rawlings' on-screen charisma and business acumen transformed Gas Monkey from a small Dallas garage into an international brand spanning restaurants, merchandise, and even energy drinks. His cash-on-hand approach to buying cars, always carrying thousands of dollars to close deals on the spot, became his trademark. "You can always buy a $10,000 car for $5,000 if you've got it in your pocket," he often said, a philosophy that served him both on and off the screen. In real life, his willingness to take risks on cars others wouldn't touch, from rusted wrecks to rare finds, Rawlings demonstrated an uncanny ability to see potential where others saw only problems. Though not every build turned a profit, his transformative track record impressed even the most skeptical viewers. In 2020, after 8 years and 16 seasons, Rawlings announced his departure from Discovery Channel to seek greater creative control for future projects. He continued to expand the Gas Monkey empire while developing new content through his own channels. Throughout his career, Rawlings maintained a controversial yet undeniably authentic approach to both business and television. Love him or hate him, his impact on car entertainment and car culture is undeniable. Now, with FBI agents searching a hidden room beneath the floor of his garage, Rawlings is facing perhaps the strangest chapter of his life. As theories swirl around what might have been buried under years of concrete, the biggest question remains: does Richard Rawlings know what really happened? The truth behind what the FBI discovered beneath the floor of Gas Monkey Garage may never be fully known.
What do you think they really discovered? Don't forget to leave comment number 1 if you sympathize with Richard Rawlings, or number 0 if you have a different opinion. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next exciting videos. See you in the next one.